To the another episode of That's Hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of That's Straight Up with Gabby Duga live into this virtual studio. But tonight's episode is this is not an easy episode. Right? This is, I would say, if you can, this could tantamount as someone I cannot say fumbled the ball. This is an absolute Titanic. Now, I've been cheering the Taegeuk Warriors since 2018. I used to cheer random Argent. I first moved to States, Spain. I still support Spain and Brazil, but I don't. And Argentina. See, it was, but like this is gonna be a special episode. This will be posted on YouTube and on Spotify. Next platforms and Apple. Okay. This is where a lot of our emotions are gonna wrap up. Okay. This is where thousands of Korean supporters around the world, 다 모두 전 세계. Like many of us, even my friends from St. Basil Church now, and a lot of the whole 공동체, not just in LA, but in the entire North America, who even in Korea, 한국에도 these people who spent their fortune, their savings account, just to get tickets to go to Guadalajara and the house of the Chivas in Monterrey, home of the Rayados. And these which I myself, even my church friends, spent the last weeks, these 3 weeks, this entire month of June, just, just going to the games early, despite there's despite they work during the week, right? Gathering a watch party. 빨간색 수트를 입을 했을 때, wearing their red shirts, waving their tekoki, even 소리 질러, even the MC 단장님, even saying, shout loud, let's shout loudly, right? In believing that this Korean team, get another memorable World Cup run. When was the last time Korea has gotten to the World Cup, to the later rounds of the World Cup? The last time was 24 years ago. Okay, the last time that the entire Korean nation. Disclaimer here. Okay, I am not Korean. I'm Filipino. I I have a lot of Korean friends. I volunteer my time at the church, St. Basil Church. That's right. That's my. Hey, I'm Filipino. I've studied the language. I I have a lot of friends, Korean Americans and Korean American friends. And but everybody with their mothers, hoping and praying that they're going to make a run. Okay, They were hoping there was going to be a repeat to the group of 16, to the quarterfinals. 4 years ago, we were in quarterfinals. Okay, and this time around, we're gonna be relegated to the third place. Imagine that. You imagine the pain of it, right? The hopes of it. Instead, we're just left by the wayside. Deeply disappointed. 진짜 우리 생각이는데 한 목표는데 월드컵 포스트 시즌 to the harder round of 16 semifinals, right? Or even the World Cup if we even dream of, right? And this started granted, right? Granted, this game started well. We opened the tournament with a lot of encouraging hope and joy. All right, like 2-1 against Czechia. Gave up a goal within the 67th minute, and then we fought back 8 minutes in, and then winning the game winning goal 4 minutes after. On top of it, and then last week, which I was there at the watch party down at Seoul International Park in K Town, or Sea of Mexicans. We were just hoping and praying, despite the mistake of the goalkeeper Kim Jong-gyu, that even though we lost by 1 goal, there was a lot of hope. There's a lot of urgency that we're gonna win. Tonight, tonight was, if you watch hockey, I'm not so sure if anyone watches hockey. This is the game that tantamounts to dump and chase. You dump it on the corner, chase it, you grab it, you play it on the top of game. This is what honestly, this was a baffling game to begin with. Okay, so tonight's game was not a when we saw the starting roster, the starting roster tonight. Okay, the goalkeeper was the same: Kim Song-gyu, Lee Han-bom, Lee Gi-yeok, Min-jae. The two major changes were Oh Young-gyu and Hani-chan, and Son Heung-min was not at the starting lineup. There were multiple social media posts. You could see the look of Son Heung-min's face, asking himself, 도대체 왜 선발 라인업을 안 나왔어? Okay? He's already like absolutely livid deep inside. Okay. And when I saw that starting lineup, we were like, I don't know, when are we gonna get cooked? But for many supporters, this campaign would remember not only Korea, not yet eliminated. The third. We're gonna be the best third place team in Group A, quote unquote best. But I felt that this team under Hong Myung-bo 감독님, it has never fully reached its potential. All right, just looking into the game in the opening game, in the opening minutes when we had the ball. we were just, oh, okay. There was a sense of, okay. There was a sense of urgency. There was some, a little bit of you know hope. And there's a lot of, like, okay, if you were there at the watch, or you were watching at the home with your friends, okay, the for you you gotta you this is something that really kind of baffled this formation. You are If you're very deep into the tactical play of soccer, they were coming out from the tunnel. They won the toss. They won the they won they get the first possession. Okay, they were in this position of three on three on the top, one in the middle, two on the one yeah two center backs, four defenders, and there was no someone in. You gotta ask yourself, like, all right, what the hell are they thinking? Hell are they thinking? Obviously, obviously, this is not something that you don't you don't change your tactical formation, not just towards the middle, but towards the end of the group stages. It's it's somewhat baffling too, because the last two matches that they played with Czechia and Mexico, they started with three strikers, four midfielders, and three defenders. Fine, great formation. This is what they call the tiki taka passing. Don't need to go long, short, immediate passes. Gra- Capture them when their defenders are flat-footed. And they went to that formation, three, three, 1, 2, 4. When I saw that formation, they were like, first half, I felt they're gonna get cooked. But every time Kim Sung Gi was doing everything, Lee was like, 너지통해, focus, 네 정신 차려, get your act together. Well, they were already. This is far past crisis mode. This is what we would say in hockey. Korea was playing like Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm sorry, this is a terrible comparison between South Korea and Toronto Maple Leafs. I do not like that comparison. The Leafs suck. But anyway, I digress. Now let's not put the blame to the players, okay? And I have to say this clearly, because I still play. I was a former athlete in high school in baseball, and I understand that you're just doing what your coaches are asked you to do. Play within the bounds of the formation or whatever game plan that is assigned to you. Great. Someone Min didn't came up only came out from the second half of the 50th minute. Fine, that was the decision of Hong Myung-bo. Jens Castro also came out second half. Okay, that's fine. This is first time playing in the World Cup. Maybe next time in 2030, maybe he can get more experience. Okay. The other players, Sol Young-woo, Lee Gang-in, Kim In-jae, fine. They're okay. Chu Gyu Song, fine. He had a lot of injuries. He played not to say garbage time, but kind of is a garbage time. Okay, these gentlemen, the entire roster of Korea play hard. Some of them had to answer the call of the country. Some of them were like Song Min, who plays with LAFC. He gave everything, despite absolutely angry with Hong. Okay, like we go down from the list: Jungyu, 이한범, 이기혁, 김민재, 황인범, 백송무, 황희찬, 이대석, 오형규, 이강인, 서현우, 송원민, 유교성, 박진섭, Jens Castro, Kim Jin-gyu. These men played or even subbed in during the game. Played their They did their best. They played their best. Okay. This is I'm gonna give you the stats right now. I have the stats right in front of me. The game. This is if your blood is not it has just started to boil, it's gonna get boiled. You just have to pray that you're on on heart uh palpitation medication right now. Okay, let's take a look. Attempts at goal and total on target. Korea had eight. Three were on target. Four targets that were on target for goal that resulted to one goal. 13 shots on goal. Okay. Fouls against, fine. They're not that it's not as bad as it is. Corners, we had the advantage. Direct free kicks, South African had it. Indirect free kicks, we had it. Penalties, perfect. We played well. Offsides, played disciplined football. Okay. Versus to South Africa's three. That's all sides. Go that way, boys. Fine. Own goals, no. One yellow card, fine. But this is where the problem lies. We had 68% ball possession. It's like saying in the sport of hockey, if you have in more possession time of the puck, more possession time to pass the puck, and you did not score a goal. This is where you play. This system that Hong Myung-bo initiated tonight's game. First half, four, 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 three, 4-2-1-3. In terms of what we compare that in hockey is a dump and chase. Simple, right as a day, as it goes. And and you gotta ask, like, what's the goal? 이게 우리 팀은 무슨 목표야? 한국이는 돌아갔어. Our goal is to get a goal. And Korea are just playing footsies. I'm sorry. What? There is no on God's green earth, present, alive, we're gonna play like that. I mean, what in what in God's name are we doing? We were we had the entire week huffing and puffing, bloviating, gloating that we're gonna win against South Africa. Even I myself guilty of that act. I'm no saint. I will admit to my sin. That I gloat. We boasted, oh, Korea has 80% chance to win. And today there was a camera from Korea, YTV. I'm praying to God. I am praying to God. 그게 스님께서 기도하시는 거, 이 비디오는 안, 나, 안 나왔었는, 나왔었는. I pray that it's not gonna come out. Because if it comes out on Yonghap TV, me and my five other friends, we're gonna look like fools on national television in Korea. If we say we're gonna win 5-0 and we lose by 1. And I know every Korean fan out here in LA are blaming on the half German, half Korean player, Jens Castro. In Schilling, I'm sorry. This young man, do not, we should not lay our blame on him. Ein Kind, that kid, played his heart out, being a substitute. Hwang Hee-chan, well, I mean, Hwang Myung-bo maybe. But it's it's just totally frustrating that this performance, this is not something that we hoped and prayed for. Okay. And I know that um this Sun maybe this I don't know when is the next round of games. I feel like if Korea doesn't have a sense of urgency tonight, the next in that round of 32, everybody in Korea are gonna call to the KFA, to the 대한축구협회, have Hong Myung-bo to be fired in Mexico immediately. Hong Myung-bo can fly commercial, first class, or economy class in either 대한항공 아니면 항공. Because this is, I would say, this is catastrophe in a national sense. It is an absolute catastrophe. And I feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for the Korean fan throughout all over Korea, and even here in the diaspora communities of LA and throughout United States and Canada and even Mexico. I feel bad for them. I really, really do. If this is an absolute lackluster performance, okay, this is where everything is like it's an illusion, a reality check, theatricity. It was not even a. It wasn't even a momentum. And one of my friends from church told me this too. If the Europeans play a game of tiki taka, short passes left and right, focus in the middle, catch them flat footed and that. Korea doesn't have that. And he's right. He was right tonight. And I owe him a dinner. I owe him a dinner at a cookie I don't know when I want to treat him for that prediction. And he was damn right. He's damn right for every single time. And my friend is Argentinian born Korean. And he supports Argentina too. And he sees why Korea cannot play like the Argentines. Even I myself, as a Filipino who supports Korea, root for Spain. Mi madre España even questions their their tactical logic. Again, I am not blaming the players here. They fought the good fight. They fought the good fight. and now we're in third place. Yes, we were the best third place team because we won against Czechia. Whoopee, whoopee. And now I'm gonna lay this blame to the coaching staff. Not just to the coaching staff, but to the entire 대한축구협회. Okay? To the entire 대한축구협회, to the Korean Football Federation. There's this IG follower that I follow, Mr. Albert Kim, and he said this too. He said that I saw that post. It said that when they hired Hong Myung-bo, he was the puppet of the previous KFA president, who was the former the previous KFA president was I believe it was Chong. Oh, there you go, Hong Myung-bo. Chong Myung-gyu will consider as the worst president of the Korea football uh, football federation. He's been there since 2013. And one might ask is this: why the hell they hired him? Why the hell they would hire a puppet of a coach of Hong Myung-bo, was great. A lot of the Korean supporters consider him as a great player who led them to, to their highest postseason competition in the semis back in '02 when they host the World Cup between Korea and Japan. And Chong Myung-gyu is a businessman. Now, one might ask, like, all right, I mean, how is a businessman knows about football, soccer? Okay? How on earth he knows anything about that sport of soccer? And he's been there for 13 years. No progress. Goodness gracious. And it says a lot. Okay, this says a lot. This says a lot about the coaches. Okay, and and this is this dates back to 2014 when Hong Myung-bo was the manager in the 2014 World Cup. That resulted them of getting new coach. Well, then Paulo Bento, who was the coach at that time. Okay, led them to 2018 and 2022, and I feel that the fans been betrayed. Okay, the last time a European coach was there was Paulo Bento, who led them to 2018 World Cup and the 2022 World Cup, which they got them to round of 16, but have them never been passed beyond round of 16. The only Europe, they only have two European. He think and yeah, Hiddink and the successful European coaches are Hiddink and Bento. They had Jurgen Klinsmann, but got fired. Then they brought back, and the sense of Hong Myung-bo is literally out there. In 2014, the tactical style was rigid, unadaptable to that modern game at that time. It resulted in that group leaving early. And every Korean fan out there knows that his sins were not gonna get forgotten. Even he was brought back as the puppet of Chung Myung Yu. Okay, and now he is the manager. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the tactical style is like still timid. Well, from rigid to timid, isolated. Oh, and they're gonna be relying too much on individual moments. In the World Cup, in the friendlies, fine, have at it. In the qualification period, fine, have at it. There's 3 years to prepare to qualify. World Cup, this is how you gonna do. God save us all. God save the king, man. The true culprit, and this again. This is the exact movie. It started with so much hope, beating Czechia 2-1, and just have. But when we faced adversity, just because Kim Song Gil wasn't able to punch the ball out in, in Guadalajara, then the mental aspect of it does not go, doesn't really crack into like, all right, let's get into it. This is either we ride or die. Instead, this coach does not have that doesn't have a plan B, a plan C either. At least good hitting had a lot of other contingency plan. Paulo Bento throughout his 6 years in the Korean football team had a plan. Plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever. This coach doesn't have it. And I would tell you, this is already a national news. At what time is it in Seoul right now? The time in Seoul is goodness 4:43. Every news reporter, every sports journalist from MBC, 한국 판성, KBS, JTBC, they're writing news what asking what on earth has and 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 let us make perfectly clear again, the players are not the ones that we deserve on our who, the players are not the ones who deserve your wrath. They did everything. Like I said earlier, okay? Like I said in the I post this in the IG post. Okay, I'm just gonna read to you what I post on the IG post in both English and Korean. I'll just read in the English and I'm reading in the Korean, okay? I am not blaming the players of our South Korean national team. They played their hearts out, bleeding, sweating, and crying tears for the fans who spent a fortune to travel to the legendary Mexican hotbeds of Guadalajara and Monterrey. However, there are certain players who simply do not deserve to wear the Korean football crest. More importantly, the absolute bulk of the blame lands squarely on head coach Hong Myung-bo and the entire coaching staff and his entire leadership and the entire leadership board of the Korean Football Association, the 대한축구협회. This is an atrocious and flat out disaster. Hong Myung-bo needs to be fired immediately. Let him walk back to Incheon by himself. There needs to be a full investigation into the KFA leadership and Hong Myung-bo, leading to a deep, significant reforms after this year's debacle in Mexico. Even though we're in third place, we need to hire another world-class European manager in the vein of Gus Hiddink, Paulo Bento, or even a top-tier Spanish tactical mind like Vicente del Bosque, who led Spain in the 2010 World Cup victory over Netherlands. It is time to completely overhaul the player's mindset and implement the tactical formation that actually fits in our national team's profile. Now, for the Korean viewers out there who will be watching this too, I'm gonna read this in Korean, okay? 대한민국 축구 국가대표팀 선수들을 탓하고 쉽지는 않다. 그들은 과달라하라와 몬테레 같은 멕시코의 유속 깊은 축구 도시들까지 복음을 돌려 원정을 온 팬들을 위해 피, 땀, 눈물을 흘리며 온 힘을 다해 되었다. 하지만 솔직히 말해서 대꾸막구를 다 자격이 없는 몇 명 선수들이 보다. 무엇보다 이번 북미 월드컵 캠페인이 참혹한 실패에 대한 가장 큰 책임은 홍명보 감독과 대한축구협회 KFA 지도부 전체에 있다. 이건 명백한 대참사다. 홍명보 감독은 추가 경질되어야 마땅하며 인천공항에 내리면 혼자 걸어서 하라고 하고 싶을 지경이다. 원래 멕시코 월드컵에서 보여준 이 해양 같은 결과에 대해 축구협회 생회부와 홍명보 감독에 대한 초면적인 감사와 대대적인 인적 쇄신 및 해역이 반드시 이루어져야 한다. 이제 벌써 히딩크 같은 연장이나 과거 2010년 네덜란드를 겪고 월드컵 우승을 이끌었던 스페인 출신 감독 같은 유로파 지도자들을 영입해야 할 때다. 선수들을 선수들이 정신 상태를 완전히 개조하고 우리 국가대표팀의 트로피에 진정으로 부합하는 신설적 포메이션을 구축해야만 한다. I just wrote what I wrote in English and Korean. Okay, this is And this is what I heard from the coach. Listen to it.
세 경기 중에 가장 기회를 한 거는 이런 식으로 결과가 나오면은 여러 가지 이유를 댈 수도 있지만은 그런 큰 무대에서 된 결과는 저는 그게 감독의 힘이라고 생각해요. 결과적으로는 제가 판단하고 결정하는 거였는데 거기에서 잘못 판단하고 결정하고 했으니까 결과가 좋지 않은 게 나온다고 생각해요. 그 이상도 없고 그 이하도 전 없다고 생각해요.
What he said that this was a tactical collapse. I take the full responsibility. The gamble that I took did not pan out. Well, duh. It didn't pan out because you left the captain out on the highway while the other team while those who are substitutes had to play the starting minutes. So yeah, duh. It was a total collapse. Even my other friends next to me, my friend Austin, even I myself had to even just get a one shot, get this thing out of the way. Okay. And this is where it lands. Okay. Like I said, these boys gave, like I said in the IG story, they gave everything blood, sweat, and tears. They ran themselves on the ground in Guadalajara, in Monterrey, under a hostile atmosphere. And blame, don't blame the players. Okay. They did everything in their power. They did everything in their power. Do it. Okay. The blame, like I said, goes not just to Hong Myung-bo, but to the entire leadership board of the Korean Football Association or the 대한축구협회. Okay? They have systematically failed this generation of talent. This is the talent where you send them instead of playing in the K League, they go to Europe. Kim In Jae, my favorite German team, Bayern Munich, as a defenseman. Suwon Min, world class. Tottenham's Hotspur, LAFC now, supported by the entire football community of LA and Orange County. Hang Yi-chan with the Wolves. This is a total failure, okay? This is from a chaotic, widely criticized hiring process of Hong Myung-bo to the lack of modern technical development. They honestly, this is a regress. This is a regression of what it was in 2022 with Paulo Bento. He could have continued that. They could have offered him an extension. Instead, the entire leadership core of the KFA, led by Myung, who's this gentleman? President of I Chong Myung-yu, Chong Myung-yu. There, it's an absolute disaster. Okay, and this has been a constant problem since 2014, since Hong Myung-bo was the manager there. Now he came back again. They thought he is resurrected. He's changed. He's like what we call the Mike McCarthy. But he wasn't. Okay? So, like I said, I mentioned world class players like Son Min, LAFC, and then Tottenham Hotspur. Kim Min Jae, Bayern Munich. Igangin in Valencia, and now in Paris Saint-Germain. They're forced to carry the weight of the entire nation, right? Inside a tactical framework that is 10 years behind in modern European football. Paulo Bento had to recreate it, rejuvenate that team. That Hong Myung-bo just decides to fuck it. I'll run that my way. You ride with me or you left hanging. Okay. This is, I say, a policy of scorched earth. Okay. This is a scorched earth policy. Okay. And and now Korea needs to think about, well, now that they're in the round of 32, this is gonna be a challenge for them. I don't know if they're gonna win or not. Okay. In the sport of football, in the sport of soccer, this is a results business. This is not about, oh, who is my who is my loyal lieutenant in my side? Who is going to be the puppet that will run under the president, rather than hiring a coach who can bring results. Take a look at Team USA. As much as I hate USA, because what's happening in this country. Okay, as much as I hate Team USA, they're seeing results by Pochettino. Great. Korea cannot have that because of those people in KFA. Okay, like I said, football is a results business, right? When expectations are not met repeatedly, accountability needs to start now. That means either starting from the coach, Hong Myung-bo, even to Chung Mong-gyu, the president of KFA. These questions need to be asked now. Were their tactical decisions correct? Was the squad prepared? Did the coaching staff maximize the talent available? Right? If not, what are the long-term plans that is good enough to compete in 2030 in Spain, Morocco, and Portugal? 4 years from now is not that far, my friend. It's not that far. 4 years can go by. Wait. But these questions are fair, but these are hard questions to ask. We got this. The federation needs to ask this now. They had to answer with their sponsors, with Nike, with SK, with KT, with other Korean and international sponsors, right? And if we want to evolve, we need to evolve now. There needs to be some hard thought questions. Okay. Some hard questions to ask. Okay. And this is where the straight up take will come. Okay. This is what we'll um to head to the straight talk take. But this is also um we're looking into the bigger, let's look into the bigger picture in 4 years time. Okay. This is not already one bad. This was already two bad. Well, I'm not gonna. Let's not put Mexico Korea game, because that was okay. Unlucky. We could have had that, but that was not luck. That was not on our end. This is not just one bad night. If anything, it's about whether Korean football is going to evolve whilst the rest of the world continues to improve. Japan, look at Japan. Goodness gracious. Japan has improved constantly every 4 years. Moriyasu 감독님 is telling his boys, you know, play within the tempo, play within momentum. They're getting results. They tied Netherlands, and Japan might get to win their group and get an advantage. Korea, God, we have to. God, wherever you are, you, God, wherever you are, there has to be there has to be something, right? And other Asian nations like Japan and within the Asian Football Confederation, AFC, Australia, they're they're investing heavily in coaching from the youth level to developing the youth, the analytics, sending their local players to not just in Europe, in in the Latin American countries. Look, and this is and Korea needs to do this every single time, every single year, so that when they produce players that are coming from Europe in the academies, when once they go home to their national teams, they're right enough to say, right, lads, let's get onto it, let's get the goal, fight, fight to the end, right? South Korea cannot simply rely on its proud football history because their history is really great. If their dream was to get back to the 2002 Magic, they can't just rely on that. I am sorry. Hong Myung-bo, that coach needs to be gone. Like I said, he can fly economy class if we for all we care as fans. Okay. And we're praying this for the next generation. Okay. The next generation deserves an environment that allows them to compete with the very best. KFA, K League, and those within those players who plays in Europe should put their hearts and minds and get rid of the mindset of Han that right, this if we want to be a proud football nation in rivals with Japan, there has to be a mindset of a warrior. They gotta stop thinking the timid mindset, like 이게 너무 무섭다. 여기는 이게 아닌 것 같대. No, no, no. Cut that crap. There needs that mindset to start after this World Cup. And they gotta fire two people here. And I don't wish for anyone. I don't pray for those people who get fired from their jobs. But on this occasion, there has to. Hong Myung-bo, God, great player, but not a great coach. Terrible man, terrible coach. Great player, he's gone. Hong 16 years, almost yeah, 13 years as the president of KFA. Afuera, done. No, daga. Okay, so this is what we hope. Okay, this is we should as fans. Okay, this is where the straight up. Well, I will tell you now, straight up. Okay, the KFA needs to get into a complete scorched earth reform from top to bottom. They should not be hiring any more old school insiders out of comfort. Okay, there needs to be coaches. Okay, coaches and an international manager, preferably in Europe, Spain, or Netherlands, cutting or Portugal with cutting edge tactical ideas, who actually knows how to utilize our attacking depth. Because these fans from Korea and here within the Kyopo Kudongse, they spend thousands of dollars just to travel to Mexico. And they know that they deserve a system built for success, not fear. Not fear at all, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Not fear. 그러면 우리 팀은 대한민국 축구는 반드시 다시 일어나는 다시 일어났을 것입니다. It means Korean football will surely rise again, but only when the leadership or is finally held accountable. And make no mistake, right? There's going to be difficult decisions. Okay, being disappointed doesn't mean we're gonna give up. Yes, Korean football has overcome setbacks before. Okay, the supporters have the every right to demand higher standards because we've been in the semifinals of the 2002 World Cup. World Cup, so they know the standards. Not just because they love the team, because they do love the team. Even I myself, who just been a fan since 2018, I invest for this team. I love this team. I will die for this team. I'm not Korean. I'm Filipino, but I'm willing to die for this team. Okay, this World Cup. If they didn't learn the lesson in 2014, I don't know how much they will learn this lesson now. I'm hoping 내가 바라면 이 이번 월드컵은 turning point는 위로 가야 돼. This World Cup should become a turning point. Okay, there needs to be difficult decisions to be made. That's which is necessary. Evaluate every coaching staff. If they need to keep their who perform well, keep them. Those who have not done well, 나가. 회사해라. 사퇴해라. 나가해라. Okay, they gotta look honestly here. What worked and what didn't work. Okay, because Korean football can be better than this crap. Our players deserve it. Our supporters deserve it. Again, like I said early in my straight up take too. 대한민국 축구는 반드시 다시 일어설 것입니다. And I believe in 4 years' time in 2030, when the World Cup goes to Brazil, to Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, like the Phoenix, it will rise again. 원처럼 대한민국 축구는 반드시 다시 일어설 것입니다. All right. I hope this was a really fun episode. This is a hard episode for me to record and to post. And I hope you guys leave a like and hopefully subscribe to more straight up with Gabby Duga's episode, and hopefully I do this more consistently. And I wish you guys good night, and those who will be cheering for your other national teams in the World Cup, we wish you luck. God bless. See you and peace and love. Bye.